of Sports. UNC traveled to Greenville but left the defense in Chapel Hill. We assess the fallout from the devastating loss.
Men's soccer returns a dangerous weapon. We take a look at a key player's comeback from injury.
And Monkey See, Monkey Kung Fu, we get down and dirty with this ancient martial art. All that and more, Sports Extra starts
right now.
From the University of North Carolina School of Journalism and Mass Communication, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics, this is Sports Extra.
Happy fall, everyone. Welcome to the September 22nd edition of Sports Extra. I'm Luis Fernandez.
And I'm Elena Albrecht. Fall means the leaves changing, sweaters, and football. Football. It's a very sensitive topic in Chapel Hill right now, and for good reason. Yeah, so in case you're living under a rock, let's go ahead and recap what had to be the longest 4 hours in UNC football history. The Tar Heels looked to redeem themselves after last year's blowout loss to East Carolina and didn't get off to a good start, giving up a touchdown on just the third play from scrimmage. The Heels still kept the game interesting until ECU blew it open in the second half with a barrage of touchdowns. UNC found the end zone twice in the fourth quarter, but it still wasn't enough as the Pirates throttled the Heels 70-41. All right, so now that everyone's up to speed, let's see if we can figure out what went wrong for the Tar Heels. The main reason UNC lost by such a wide margin lies in the defense. The Tar Heels constantly missed tackles, allowing East Carolina to pull off countless big plays. The Heels also struggled to stop ECU drives, allowing the Pirates to convert 12 of 17 third down attempts. Shoddy defense has been a common problem in the Fedora era at Carolina, and if the team wants to compete in the ACC, the Heels will have to improve drastically on the defensive side. Let's go ahead and take a look at how the Tar Heels stack up against other defenses in the nation. It doesn't look too good. The #1 scoring defense belongs to Stanford. The Cardinals allow only 4.3 points per game. Tied for third is Notre Dame at 10.3 points per game, and Duke sits at 7th with 11.5 points per game. UNC is a little bit lower on the list, 121st overall, giving up 42 points per game. Carolina plays both Notre Dame and Duke on the road. We've established it wasn't the greatest showing by the Heels. In fact, it made history, which brings us to our stat of the week. The Pirates scored more points and put up more yards than any Carolina opponent ever. The 789 yards by ECU beat a record established by an Urban Meyer-led Utah squad. In 2005, Louisville set a record for points in a game against UNC with 69. Well, ECU scored 70.
After the game, Coach Fedora took the blame for the team's lackluster performance.
I don't know. I don't know what the most disappointing aspect. There was a lot of disappointment, you know. We just didn't, I'm not sure we executed in just about anything, really. So it was, you know, wasn't a good plan. Wasn't a good plan.
Now, despite a winning record in 3 seasons at UNC, head coach Larry Fedora still has a variety of question marks surrounding him following the loss to ECU, the largest being his defense. North Carolina has had suspect defensive units since Fedora's arrival. In each season that Fedora has been the head coach, Tar Heels have had at least one game in which they have allowed 50 or more points. On top of this, Fedora's clock management has always been under scrutiny. And then there's the quarterback rotation. Coach Fedora refused to name a starter until the day of UNC's season opener before finally giving the job to Marquise Williams. Despite this, he still subs in Mitch Trubisky once every few drives, putting both QBs in awkward situations and killing any chance at offensive rhythm. Now, during head coach Larry Fedora's time with the Tar Heels, we've seen some solid wins for sure, but have there been any great ones? That takes us to this week's hidden stat. Since Fedora's first season in 2012, the Tar Heels are winless against ranked football teams. There have been some close games like Louisville in 2012 and Miami and Duke in 2013. Throw in the loss to South Carolina, though, and that brings the team to a record of 0-4 against teams in the top 25. Now, things don't get that much easier for the Tar Heels during the next few weeks. Up next, it's the toughest part of their schedule. Next week, Carolina has to go to Death Valley and play the formerly ranked Clemson team. Then comes a home matchup against a struggling Virginia Tech team in October, followed by a road game at number 9 Notre Dame. That's going to be a tough matchup for sure. Now, a huge loss like this sends tremors through campus. I took a walk on campus to find out what the pulse of the UNC community is.
I thought it had a lot of promise, especially after last year.
I was kind of nervous because I know we've been talking about a lot of stuff about ECU before the game, and I feel like they would put it right back on us if we lost.
I wasn't too terribly optimistic. I thought we possibly could win.
This is supposed to be a different year, a different season. Pretty high expectations, so I thought it was a chance to make a statement.
It was really close at one point when it was like 21-20. That was really exciting.
I felt good at the beginning. We got a couple trick plays in. We were trying to go step for step with them, but then they just started falling apart.
I never thought we were going to be that good, honestly. I thought, we always get overranked a little bit.
We were all getting really excited, like they're not beating us by that much. But then we spoke too soon, and they ended up beating us by a lot more, and it got worse and worse.
I'd like to see us beat a good team to prove that we are kind of at that level.
I think we're a good team this year, and we really have a chance to put our name out there and make ourselves a better and better team, even though we lost this last game.
I feel like we really need to make some changes, maybe defensively, scheme-wise, because whatever we're doing right now it's not working.
Probably finish up 7-5 again.
Could you describe the game against ECU in one word?
Embarrassing.
Probably disappointed.
Irrelevant.
I eventually just had to turn the game off.
The, let's say, poor performance by Carolina left fans frustrated. And where do you go to express your frustration nowadays? Twitter, of course. Things were optimistic at first. Former Tar Heel tight end Eric Ebron tweeted, "Turn up, UNC!" with 7 exclamation points after TJ Thorpe's touchdown from Ryan Switzer. Then UNC fans began to give in to their anger a little. At DannyK_UNC tweets, "ECU is a good team without a doubt, but 3rd and 28 and they run in for a TD? Man, angry emoji." And finally, former Tar Heel offensive lineman Russell Bodine sums it up best. 70 points? Is this basketball? Now, not every Tar Heel had a bad football weekend. Some former Carolina players excelled in the NFL. Giovanni Bernard has done it again. He had a great performance Sunday against the Tennessee Titans. He scored 2 touchdowns, giving him 3 on the season. Bruce Carter gave the Cowboys their winning points yesterday against the St. Louis Rams with a 25-yard interception for a touchdown. Carter's most recent interception came in September 2010 while playing for UNC against Rutgers. He hadn't recovered a fumble or intercepted a pass in any game, college or pro, since then. There are 23 former Tar Heels currently in the NFL. If you didn't have the pleasure to be at the game on Saturday, you were probably watching it on ESPNU. What a lot of us often forget is the preparation it takes to put the broadcast on air. Our Brett Thompson went behind the scenes to check it out.
College football gives millions of fans an opportunity to kick back, relax, and watch their favorite teams play. What those millions don't realize is how much time and effort goes into just one game, especially for a director like UNC's own Tim Sutton.
We do about 7 hours of conference calls. 2.5 or so hours we evaluate our previous shows from the other week. Then I'll spend a couple of hours reviewing my game, writing a report. And finally, on that set day, I also have a production meeting with the coaches. It's well over 40 hours, not including travel and all of that.
The driving force behind the worldwide leader in sports is actually a world-class trailer.
This trailer contains equipment ranging from graphics to playback to audio. Engineers rewire the equipment every week as the truck travels, making the job much longer than just 60 minutes of game time.
This truck that we're in parked Friday morning, and we put in a 10-hour day building the cameras, doing every audio patch for the headsets and intercom to the referee mics and the announcers in the booth, and every video patch that has to be set up to move the video signals to the cameras in the trucks, to the uplink that's across the way, and the first and 10, all of our video setups. So we are a 10-hour day that precedes the event day.
Then, of course, there's the announce booth. The booth is filled with preparational sheets, statistical spreadsheets, and, as always, a picture-perfect view of the stadium. With the effort put in to make sure broadcasts run smoothly, even for a blowout like Saturday's, you could say these crew members are hitting all the basics. From Greenville, I'm Brett Thompson, reporting.
Sutton graduated from Carolina in 1983 with a major in radio, television, and motion pictures. He was on the varsity swim team. Women's soccer opens up conference play.
This time it was the Heels enjoying the luck of the Irish.
Connect with us online by liking the Sports Extra Facebook page and following us on Twitter @SportsExtra_UNC.
Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Up, college is hard. Down, those books are heavy.
My sport is football, but my passion is education.
Right up here.
So every year I take promising high schoolers on a college tour
Lights there, darts there.
to show them that higher education means a brighter future. My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
You can be a reader, tutor, or mentor too. Take the pledge at liveunited.org/volunteer.
Do you wear this?
Another busy weekend for Carolina volleyball, taking on two strong teams in Carmichael. Exciting matchups against two powerhouses. The 13th ranked Tar Heels hosted West Virginia and Oklahoma this weekend in the ACC Big 12 Showdown. Senior Lauren McAdoo had another dominating performance with 23 kills. The Tar Heels also had 18 kills from 6'2" junior Paige Neuenfeld, who has been performing very well this season. The Heels improved to 9-1 and will face number 6 Florida State next Friday in Tallahassee on ESPN3. So joining us now is one of the volleyball team's key leaders, Lauren McAdoo. Lauren, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So Lauren, let's go ahead and get started. What's changed with the team this year?
I think one of the major focuses that's changed within the team this year is in past years we've been more preseason minded, really focused on starting strong. You know, last year we were 15-0 to start, which is awesome, but then we didn't finish how we wanted to in postseason. So a lot of the focus this year is on postseason and finishing well in November and December when it counts the most.
Now, you bring up the postseason a lot. Realistically, where do you see this team finishing? Are you guys looking to go even farther than before?
Our goal this year is to make it to the Elite 8. The past few years, our goal has been the Sweet 16, and though that hasn't been accomplished, we are striving to go even farther past that, and I think that this team definitely has the talent to do so.
All right, awesome. Yeah, they definitely seem, the way you guys are winning, it definitely seems like that. So let's get to the good stuff. FSU this weekend. It's a big game. How are you guys preparing for them?
We are practicing really, really hard on defense for sure. FSU is an awesome blocking defense team. They have a good offense as well. So our practice this week is to learn to challenge their block on hitting, not to shy away from it, to go after it, and to just go after everything on defense. No ball hits the ground without effort. Aggressiveness for sure.
That's always a good mindset to have. So one more thing before we let you go. You've had a great year so far. What's been your driving force that pushes you to be better?
This senior class, I would say, is a special one for sure. I think that our class is really focused on leaving a legacy, doing something that has never been done here at Carolina, and Elite 8 would definitely be that. A Carolina team has never won an ACC championship and made it to the Sweet 16 as well, so that's one of our goals too.
Well, I'm sure all those seniors will really help push the team forward.
For sure.
Lauren McAdoo, senior with the UNC volleyball team. Thanks for being here, Lauren.
Thank you for having me.
Iconic basketball coach Dean Smith once said, UNC isn't a basketball school, it's a women's soccer school. That was before the men's soccer team won its own national championship. Susanna Black joins us in the studio with an update about both squads.
Alana, around the world, fans refer to soccer as the beautiful game, and the way the Carolina teams play helps us understand why. The women's soccer team opened ACC play on the road this weekend, and would this young squad have enough to push past the 18th ranked Fighting Irish? The Heels overcame a 2-goal deficit at halftime to defeat Notre Dame 3-2. Cameron Castleberry put the team on the board, scoring her first goal of the season. 15 minutes later, Joanna Boyles evened the score with a beautiful free kick to force overtime. Just 27 seconds into double overtime, Kat Nigro scored this game-winning goal for Carolina, improving the team's record to 4-0-1 all-time against the Irish. Now, the team has won 3 straight games, though the Heels have been giving Coach Dorrance some gray hair. 4 of the team's 7 games this season have gone into overtime. Where are they now? Taking a look at Tar Heels who have gone pro. We caught up with soccer standout Crystal Dunn this week.
Former Tar Heel Crystal Dunn is making a name for herself in the world of professional soccer. She left UNC in the spring of 2013 to play for the Washington Spirit in DC and is a member of the women's national team. Dunn said her transition from D1 to professional athlete has been challenging.
The intensity level is a little bit more. It's like coming into a new environment all the same. I mean, from high school to college, it was rough, and from college into the pros, it's going to be different. I mean, the girls are bigger, stronger, faster, and it's pretty much World War III every time you step on the field.
Although she's no longer in Chapel Hill, she still embraces the Carolina way.
Being a Tar Heel, we've always been taught to pretty much work hard. You can always control your work ethic, and I think for me, I carry that every single day. Every time I step on the field, I'm always like, I might have a bad touch, I might have a bad game, but I can always control how hard I work and working hard for all my teammates.
UNC has come under scrutiny for players leaving without finishing their degrees. Dunn has her own thoughts.
I feel like you're in school to find out what you really want to do in life and find your passion, and I think if some people can make it professionally and make a good living off of it, why not?
And Dunn's plan?
I'm definitely going to come back and graduate, and I look forward to it.
But before she graduates, Dunn and the team hope to continue making a mark at the 2015 World Cup in Canada.
Now, among her accomplishments at UNC, Dunn led the Heels to a national championship, was ACC Athlete of the Year, National Player of the Year, and All-American. No wonder she went first overall in the 2014 draft. So the women's team are dominating, but let's take it over to the men's side. The #1 Carolina men's soccer team and plenty of fans traveled to Durham Friday to face off against that other team in blue. Senior forward Tyler Engel snuck in this one-touch goal in the first half to give the Heels a 1-0 lead. The Carolina fans loved it and kept the energy high during the rivalry match. But Duke got the equalizer in the second half, slotting this free kick to tie it up. A second goal by Duke in the 81st minute sealed the win. UNC tried to battle back but ran out of time, losing 2-1. The loss ends the Heels' 4-match win streak. 2 years and only 3 games. One UNC midfielder's career has been plagued by injuries, but this season he's looking to make a comeback. Caleb Waters tells us his story.
Redshirt sophomore Niambi Jabang's career here at UNC hasn't gone according to plan.
My journey is always injury in soccer-wise. I got his injury after injury from freshman year to now, and then it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough to sit in there, watch my teammates every year, sit on the bleachers, watch them, and then finally get to play.
The forward was injured just 3 games into his freshman season in 2012 and was out all last year recovering. Despite Niambi missing close to 2 seasons, UNC's head coach Carlos Somuano still has high hopes for him.
All I expect out of Niambi is to do his best, to commit to our program and to our core values, and to be the best Niambi that it can be.
Niambi has already scored once this season against Pittsburgh and is looking to learn quickly in order to make up for lost time.
College, after injury I came in, I was like, I'm gonna be here. And then you got here, it's a lot of steps to get there. I learned a lot, still learning a lot. He's kind of like professional, You gotta make this run here, we gotta make this run. You wanna get everything perfect.
You can't try to second guess what happened or where he would have been, and that's pointless for us. We got what we got, which is a great player and a great human being, and I'm very proud of him.
Jabang hopes his game will be as healthy as he is now. In Chapel Hill, I'm Caleb Waters, reporting.
Now, Jabang hopes to see increased playing time behind the loaded front line of Andy Craven, Tyler Engel, and Rob Lovejoy. Players getting injured is a normal part of the game, and on top of that, Carolina players often leave for weeks at a time to play on their respective national teams. But Alana, when the Heels are at full strength, teams better watch out.
That's Susanna Black live in the studio. Thanks, Susanna.
Now, fall is normally a time for postseason baseball in the MLB.
But women's softball got together to hit a few out of the park. How they did it next on Sports Extra.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
Hey, Hard, what's this? That's my resignation letter. You're resigning. Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me, okay? But remember, it's not what you say, it's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Today,
The field hockey team has been to the national title game 4 of the past 5 years. And with the #1 ranking this season, every opponent is gunning to take the Heels down. The team suffered its first loss of the season to number 14 Louisville. The deciding goal for the Cardinals came with just 5 minutes left in the game when Louisville scored off a penalty corner. Despite a disappointing loss, the team bounced back quickly on Sunday and defeated the Miami of Ohio Redhawks 3-0. It was Carolina's second shutout of the year. The defense held the Redhawks to only 1 shot and no penalty corners, a first this season. The Heels are now 1-1 in the ACC and 6-1 overall. This weekend, they'll play Boston College and UConn, the team that knocked them out of the Final Four last year. The softball team is off to a good start to the fall schedule, with the Heels winning 3 of their 4 games this weekend. The Heels won both games on Friday in a doubleheader against Elon and split Saturday's doubleheader against South Carolina. Pitcher Kendra Lynch started the first game, holding the Gamecocks scoreless for 4 innings. Lauren Walker's home run in the bottom of the 8th led the Heels to victory by a score of 3-2. In Game 2, the Heels fell behind early and couldn't recover, losing 10-4. The Heels will play next on October 5th with a doubleheader against UNCG.
Beautiful Meadowview, California was home to the Napa Valley Invite for the men's tennis team this weekend. They got some great results to go along with the trip to the West Coast. Sophomore Brett Clark and freshman Robert Kelly both won their flights with wins on Sunday. Both won in 2 sets to finish at the top of their group. Not every Tar Heel pulled out a win, though. Sophomores Ronnie Schneider and Jack Murray both fell in 2 sets in the championship rounds of their groups. On Friday, Carolina will travel to Elon for the Elon Invitational. Women's golf is playing in the Lady Paladin Invitational in Greenville, South Carolina this week. They started off the Invitational Sunday. At the end of the day, they stood at 6th overall with a 7 over 295. Brianna Nguyen and Leslie Klutz tied for the Tar Heels top player of the day. Freshman Nguyen shot 2 birdies and 2 eagles, and sophomore Klutz shot 4 birdies and 4 bogeys. They each carded an even par 72. The Invitational continues through Tuesday. Both will be looking to get a little bit more birdies and a little bit less bogeys.
When Sports Extra returns,
we take you into the world of an ancient martial art. Get ready to face the power of the monkey.
Don't forget to tune in to our sister shows, Carolina Week at 5 p.m. every Wednesday on Time Warner 24 or Campus Channel 34, and Carolina Connection at 8:30 every Saturday morning on WCHL 97.9 FM.
My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
I wouldn't use this one.
He helps me with my decision making.
Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
If you store your guns properly, I'll feel safer when I'm playing outside.
Safer when walking home.
I won't have to tell so many family members. I'm sorry.
I won't hear as many scary stories.
And I won't have to tell my kids this isn't a drill.
Please.
Please, do it for us.
Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always, lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
That's low. That's low. That's low. Look, he's blushing. Seriously.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
All right, so we've all heard the phrase monkey see, monkey do.
But some UNC students think it's better to do what they see monkeys doing. Molly Oak reports.
There's a martial arts club on campus that's making moves, like monkeys. It's an ancient Chinese martial art UNC instructor Hinar Polzer has been studying for 25 years.
Usually we focus more on the movement art of it rather than the sparring.
That movement making it seem a lot like a jungle in the Woolen Gymnasium combat room. Monkey Kung Fu is a powerful art form of Chinese Kung Fu that dates back to about 200 BC.
But when it's carefully put together, it's a very full and beautiful system.
A system that only comes from embracing your inner animal and the monkey mindset. But there's more to it than just monkeying around.
And many people will think that anybody can jump around and just, make funny faces.
I was one of those people.
And now it's my turn to try. That look like a monkey?
It takes balance, flexibility, and good reaction times, which I had none of. Monkey Kung Fu isn't only about the attack, though.
It's playful and very, very effective.
Polzer says he teaches it as a self-defense tactic, the element of surprise being their biggest asset.
You really don't expect these movements.
No, not at all.
He says the key to Monkey Kung Fu is letting loose, and the president of the club, Mariam Kazemzadeh Tufi, agrees.
You just kind of have to let go and just be a monkey, and it's great.
All that monkey business burns a lot of calories. In Chapel Hill, I'm Molly Oak, reporting.
Wow, I wouldn't want to find myself in a dark alley with any of them at night, that's for sure.
Yeah, all right, so going back to Carolina football. We've looked at how they did, but let's peek into the future. How do you think they'll fare against Clemson?
Well, Clemson has had a tough schedule. They're 1-2 right now, but they've had to play at Georgia and at Florida State. That's really tough. One of the main things that worries me about Carolina playing Clemson is having to go to Death Valley. Without a doubt, Death Valley is one of the toughest places to play in the nation. You know what else is pretty tough, though? They're giving up. They're scoring 37 points per game. Yeah, against Carolina. That's top 50 in the country. Against Carolina, we'll see. Something maybe even scarier is that earlier this year, they pulled an ECU. Yep, that's a thing, pulling an ECU.
Oh, no.
They dropped 73 points against South Carolina State.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't sound too good for Carolina. But, it's maybe a younger team. They lost Sammy Watkins. They lost Taj Boyd last year. And, it is going to be very loud in Death Valley. Hopefully they can overcome that mentally.
Who do you think's going to win?
I would love to be optimistic, but based on this weekend's performance, I've got to go with Clemson.
Yeah, last year the ECU loss really sent them going, on a winning record, but I'm going to go with Clemson. I got to see it to believe it. All right, well, that does it for this edition of Sports Extra.
Thanks for watching. Have a great night.